close and unplugged. Here's another live performance from 95 WIIL Rock Studio East.
Well, welcome to 95 WIIL Rock Studio East Friday afternoon edition. We welcome into our little lounge on a Friday afternoons from Creed and now an author, Scott Stapp.
Hey, man. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Good to see you guys, and good to see you, Tom.
Thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate it. Busy guy on the road these days, talking about his brand new book, which is just out. It's called Scott Stapp, Sinner's Creed, a memoir. The press kit describes it as a tell-all. So I want to know, is it a tell-all? Did you leave stuff out?
I went back to the day I was born.
Is your birth is literally in this book.
As far back as I can remember.
Yeah, but it talks about your upbringing and a pretty religious upbringing and where your roots are. How far do you go into that and how it's formed you as a person?
Well, it was a really difficult process, but a cathartic process. I shared a lot that I've never shared before. Went in detail about the abuse in my home growing up and how that affected me in my life to come. So it went pretty deep.
Yeah, you talk about the abuse and the stuff like that. So my next question was going to be, why have you written a book? Is it a promotional thing? Is it therapy for you to get out there and share this with people? Because there's a lot of deep personal stuff in here. I mean, even sitting down with the guy who helped you write it had to be just an experience to spill all that out. It's like therapy with him. Is it a grab for cash? I mean, why? A lot of times you see books like this, you're like, why would somebody lay all that out there for everybody to see? It's like cutting yourself wide open.
Well, it was an important process for me during a time in my life where, I was trying to make sense of the mess and where I was at, and seeking, sobriety, and finally coming to grips with the fact that I was an alcoholic and suffered with drug addiction, and took some action, and after a series of things, went to the Betty Ford Clinic, and that's where the process began. I didn't intend initially to write a book. Part of the process there in recovery is writing out your life honestly, and really that wasn't to share with anyone. And one day, a man named Jimmy Weiss there, who was an amazing man, came in and said, "Hey, I've got somebody on the phone for you." I was like, "Who is this, man? I'm in rehab, dude. You're gonna put me on the phone with somebody?" And he gives me the phone, and I hear this. "Hey, what's up, Scott Stapp? How you doing, baby, brother?" It was Steven Tyler. And I was like, "What's up, man?" I was kind of, taken aback. And he started sharing his experience with the same man, Jimmy Weiss, at the Betty Ford Clinic, and really helped me push the honesty in my reflection. And also gave me, some points about, make your amends list, and really let that dig deeper. And as the process went on, I started to feel that this mess that I was looking at was becoming a message. And, it really began to repurpose my life. I was so gone emotionally and mentally and spiritually at a certain point. I remember living in a bathrobe for a year and a half, drinking 2 bottles of Jack Daniels a day. Never left my room. It was pretty bad. And then I went on to talk about the suicide attempts and whatnot. But I think the importance for me was to repurpose things that I felt such guilt and shame for and carried around my life.
And that's one of the steps they say in recovery is a kind of a penance and apology to people. Is this book a broader one of those? You lived it in the public eye. Is this an apology and amends in the public eye in some way?
I guess it could take that form. I talk about it being my confession. And it definitely was. It was a confession to God. It was a confession to my fans, of course, my family. And I had a lot of things to share, too, to kind of clear up some things that I had never spoke out about that were, reported wrong and whatnot. Because I have 3 kids, man, and they're going to hear this stuff. And the internet makes things perfect, and or it makes things permanent. And whether it's true or false. And so within this story, I also had to tell the real story.
And the video's out there, too, on some stuff. And the
absolutely.
pictures and all of that stuff. And the book is described as a tell-all. Are there names?
And, I've been very honest, man.
Yeah. Are there names in this book? Are these stories told in this book? And you tell what
absolutely.
happened and all that stuff?
Absolutely. When you read the book, there's a story about myself and falling off or however you want to call it, the 16th floor of the penthouse in the Delano. Should have fallen 16 stories to my death. And fortunately landed on a ledge 40 feet down, broke my skull wide open, broke my hip, many other bones. And I was there. I was going to die. 2.5 hours, no one came out, seriously injured. And, a surprise, guardian angel came out from the balcony below, and it was T.I. And I share about that in my book. And, it's just amazing, the journey that it's been. And as you'll see if you read it, there's no excuses, man. Everything that I did, I confess. I'm not running from anything. I'm not trying to cover up anything, man. It's all about being honest.
The stories like that are in there. I have a son who's 17. He's a big Creed fan. Do I let him read it, or does this book... does it cross some lines? I'm not going to let him read the Nikki Sixx book until he goes out and buys it on his own. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to let him read Belinda Carlisle's book until he goes out and buys it on his own.
I hear you.
But can he read this? Is there a rating on this book, like a movie?
Well, absolutely. And here's how I'll define that for you. I have a 13-year-old son who'll be 14 in October. I have a 5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. And so although I lay it all out, I do it in a way that I feel that they could read. Especially, my 13-year-old. He's an avid reader. And it's not glorifying sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's telling the truth about the consequences of sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
It's kind of what those other books do, and that sells books. Was there pressure from the publisher, the people who want this book? Were they saying, can you put a little more dirt in there? Can you put a little more of that in there? Did you get any of that? Because that's going to sell more books. It really,
I think, I have a wonderful publisher, Tyndale, and they've been so great to me in allowing this process to happen, because in sharing this, it's helping me in my life and in my recovery. And, I think they had so much. It was about, how do we whittle this down? So I think that was the point.
All right, Scott Stapp is here. His book is out. It's called Sinner's Creed. You can pick that up, his memoir. And we got a guitar. We got some microphones. We got some speakers. Can we do a song?
Yeah.
Who wants to hear a song? Anybody want to? All right. What are you gonna do for us first?
Well, it's a usual kickoff song for me. It's called "Are You Ready?" And here we go.